National Electrical Code Article 250.134c addresses the use of isolated grounding conductors. This section permits isolated grounds in specific situations. One such situation is when required by the articles in the code. In the case of the elevator equipment supplier requesting an isolated ground, this requirement falls under this exception. This means the code allows for an isolated ground when the equipment manufacturer specifies it. Another situation where an isolated ground is permitted is for separately derived systems. However, in this scenario, the elevator feeder is not a separately derived system, so this rule does not apply. Finally, an isolated ground is permitted when running a raceway not containing circuit conductors. This requirement can be met by running the isolated ground conductor in a separate raceway from the circuit conductors. Now, let's discuss installation considerations for an isolated ground conductor. Firstly, the isolated ground conductor must be sized in accordance with National Electrical Code Table 250.122. This table provides the minimum size of grounding conductors based on the size of the ungrounded conductors. Secondly, the isolated ground conductor must be clearly identified. It should have green insulation or a continuous green stripe. This makes it easily distinguishable from other conductors. Thirdly, the isolated ground conductor must be terminated at both ends to a ground bar or other suitable grounding electrode. This ensures a proper ground connection. While installing a separate isolated ground conductor is a viable option, there's also the possibility of using an isolation transformer. An isolation transformer can provide an isolated ground but is generally more expensive. It may also require additional space and maintenance. Therefore, the recommended solution in this case is to install an isolated ground conductor run separately from the circuit conductors back to the main service ground, while adhering to all the sizing and identification requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code. Remember, the National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of rules designed to ensure electrical safety. Always consult the latest edition of the code and consult with a qualified electrician when performing electrical work. It is critical to accurately size the isolated ground conductor based on the size of the supply conductors. Refer to NEC Table 250.122 to determine the minimum acceptable size. Ensuring proper sizing is crucial for the safety and effectiveness of the grounding system. The green insulation or green stripe is not just for show, it is a critical safety feature. It allows electricians to quickly and easily identify the isolated ground conductor, preventing accidental misconnections that could lead to electrical hazards. Proper termination of the isolated ground conductor is essential for establishing a low impedance path to ground. This helps to minimize voltage differences and reduce the risk of electrical shock. An isolation transformer creates a new isolated power source for the elevator equipment. This can help to reduce electrical noise and improve the performance of sensitive electronic equipment. However, isolation transformers can be bulky and expensive, and they may require additional cooling. When selecting a grounding method, it is important to consider the specific requirements of the elevator equipment manufacturer. Some manufacturers may require an isolated ground for proper operation or to comply with warranty requirements. Consulting with the manufacturer can help to ensure that the grounding system meets their specifications. Always follow all applicable codes and standards when installing an isolated ground. The National Electrical Code provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems, and compliance with these requirements is essential for electrical safety. Remember, working with electricity can be dangerous. Only qualified and licensed electricians should perform electrical work. If you are not qualified, consult with a professional to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Article 250 of the National Electrical Code is a critical section that governs grounding and bonding requirements for electrical systems. It provides detailed information on how to establish a safe and effective grounding system. Familiarizing yourself with Article 250 is essential for anyone working with electricity. The main purpose of grounding is to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This helps to trip the circuit breaker or fuse, quickly de-energizing the circuit and preventing electrical shock or fire hazards. A well-designed grounding system also helps to minimize voltage differences between different parts of the electrical system, reducing the risk of electrical noise and interference. Bonding is the process of connecting different metal parts of the electrical system together to create a common ground. This helps to ensure that all metal parts are at the same voltage potential, reducing the risk of electrical shock. Bonding is typically accomplished by using bonding jumpers or conductors to connect metal raceways, enclosures, and equipment. The size of the grounding and bonding conductors is critical for the effectiveness of the grounding system. The National Electrical Code provides tables that specify the minimum size of grounding and bonding conductors based on the size of the circuit conductors. Using undersized grounding conductors can compromise the safety of the electrical system. Grounding electrodes are used to connect the grounding system to the earth. Common types of grounding electrodes include ground rods, ground plates, and metal underground water pipes. The National Electrical Code specifies the requirements for grounding electrodes, including the minimum size and number of electrodes. The impedance of the grounding path is an important factor to consider when designing a grounding system. A low impedance grounding path is essential for quickly clearing ground faults and minimizing voltage differences. The impedance of the grounding path can be affected by the size and type of grounding conductors, the length of the grounding conductors, and the type of grounding electrodes used. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are devices that are designed to protect people from electrical shock. GFCIs work by monitoring the current flowing in the circuit and tripping the circuit if there is a difference of 5 mA or more between the outgoing and return current. GFCIs are required in many locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, are devices that are designed to protect electrical equipment from voltage surges. Voltage surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other events. SPD work by diverting the surge current to ground, protecting the connected equipment from damage. Regular inspection and testing of the grounding system is essential to ensure that it is working properly. Grounding systems should be inspected for signs of corrosion, damage, or loose connections. Grounding systems should also be tested to verify that the impedance of the grounding path is within acceptable limits. Isolated grounding systems are sometimes used in sensitive electronic equipment to reduce electrical noise and interference. An isolated grounding system is a grounding system that is separate from the normal grounding system of the building. Isolated grounding systems are typically used in hospitals, laboratories, and other facilities where sensitive electronic equipment is used. When working with electricity, it is important to always follow safe work practices. These practices include wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses, using insulated tools, and energizing circuits before working on them. It is also important to be aware of the potential hazards of electricity and to take steps to avoid them. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, consult with a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to leave electrical work to the professionals. The requirements for isolated grounding conductors can be found in Article 250.146 of the National Electrical Code. This section provides detailed information on the installation and termination of isolated grounding conductors. It is important to carefully review this section of the code before installing an isolated grounding conductor. The isolated grounding conductor must be run in a separate raceway from the circuit conductors. This helps to prevent electrical noise and interference from affecting the performance of the sensitive electronic equipment. The raceway must be metallic and must be properly grounded. The isolated grounding conductor must be terminated to a dedicated grounding terminal in the equipment being served. This grounding terminal must be isolated from the equipment enclosure. The isolated grounding conductor must be sized in accordance with National Electrical Code Table 250.122. The size of the isolated grounding conductor must be based on the size of the circuit conductors. The isolated grounding conductor must be identified with green insulation or with a continuous green stripe. This helps to distinguish it from other grounding conductors. The isolated grounding conductor must be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner. The conductor must be properly supported and protected from damage. The isolated grounding conductor must be tested to verify that it is properly installed and that it is providing a low impedance path to ground. This testing should be performed by a qualified electrician. Isolation transformers are often used in conjunction with isolated grounding systems. The isolation transformer provides a new isolated power source for the sensitive electronic equipment. This helps to further reduce electrical noise and interference. The use of an isolation transformer is not always required, but it is often recommended for critical applications. When selecting an isolation transformer, it is important to choose a transformer that is properly sized for the load being served. The transformer must also be designed for use in an isolated grounding system. The installation of an isolation transformer must be performed by a qualified electrician. The transformer must be properly grounded and bonded. The transformer must also be protected from overcurrent. Regular maintenance of the isolated grounding system is essential to ensure that it is working properly. This maintenance should include inspecting the grounding conductors for signs of corrosion or damage, testing the grounding connections for tightness, and verifying that the isolated grounding system is providing a low impedance path to ground. The frequency of the maintenance will depend on the environment in which the isolated grounding system is installed. In harsh environments, more frequent maintenance may be required. It is important to keep accurate records of all maintenance performed on the isolated grounding system. These records should include the date of the maintenance, the work performed, and the results of any testing. These records will be helpful in troubleshooting any problems that may arise with the isolated grounding system. Always consult with a qualified electrician when designing or installing an isolated grounding system. A qualified electrician can help to ensure that the isolated grounding system is properly designed and installed and that it meets all applicable codes and standards. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to leave electrical work to the professionals. Understanding the principles of grounding and bonding is essential for anyone working with electricity. A properly designed and installed grounding system can help to protect people from electrical shock and prevent electrical fires. The National Electrical Code provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems, and compliance with these requirements is essential for electrical safety. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity. To energize circuits before working on them, use insulated tools, and wear appropriate personal protective equipment. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, consult with a qualified electrician. The isolated ground conductor, even though run separately, is still subject to physical damage. Consider using a raceway that provides adequate protection. Factors such as the environment, exposure to physical impact, and potential for corrosion should influence the selection of the raceway. Options include rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing within walls, or even rigid non-metallic conduit where permitted by code. Ensure the chosen raceway is properly supported and secured. The point where the isolated ground conductor connects to the main service ground is critical. Ensure this connection is made to a properly sized and installed grounding electrode conductor, which connects to the grounding electrode system. The connection should be made using approved methods such as exothermic welding or listed connectors. This connection must be accessible for inspection and testing. Regularly inspect the physical condition of the isolated ground conductor, its connections, and the raceway if used. Look for signs of corrosion, damage, loose connections, or any other conditions that could compromise the integrity of the grounding system. If any issues are identified, address them promptly to maintain the effectiveness of the isolated ground. Use appropriate labeling to clearly identify the isolated ground conductor and its associated equipment. This helps prevent accidental disconnection or misidentification during maintenance or modifications. The label should clearly state isolated ground and indicate the equipment it serves. In some cases, the elevator equipment supplier may specify additional requirements for the isolated ground, such as specific impedance levels or grounding electrode configurations. It is crucial to consult with the supplier and adhere to their recommendations to ensure proper equipment operation and warranty compliance. Consider the potential for electromagnetic interference, or EMI, in the area where the isolated ground is installed. EMI can negatively impact the performance of sensitive electronic equipment. If EMI is a concern, consider using shielded cables or additional filtering techniques to minimize its effects. An isolation transformer not only provides an isolated ground, but also offers voltage regulation and harmonic mitigation benefit. This can improve the power quality supplied to the elevator equipment, potentially extending its lifespan and improving its performance. Remember that the isolated ground is not intended to carry normal operating current. It is solely for fault current protection. If the isolated ground conductor is carrying significant current under normal operating conditions, it indicates a problem that needs to be investigated and corrected. Periodically measure the voltage between the isolated ground conductor and the building's main grounding system. This measurement should be close to 0 volts. A significant voltage difference indicates a potential issue with the isolated ground or the main grounding system. Use calibrated test equipment to perform these measurements and document the results. Before making any modifications or additions to the electrical system, carefully review the existing grounding system to ensure that it will not be negatively affected. Changes to the electrical system can alter the grounding impedance and potentially compromise the effectiveness of the isolated ground. Coordinate any modifications with a qualified electrician. In areas with high levels of electrical noise, consider using a combination of isolated grounding techniques and power line filters. Power line filters can help to attenuate noise on the incoming power supply, further improving the performance of sensitive electronic equipment.